All right, hey, this is Steve again. Giving you an update on the green screen issue. That would be paint versus the muslin fabric. Um, this is what I got back. I contacted the Rosco Paint Company and talked to their paint coating product manager and scenic artist. Okay, he seems to know the most about what's going on. So here's his take. As with anything, prep is the most important step. Properly preparing the fabric to be painted really helps to not add too much weight and to get a good solid color. The best part about the paint, it has a flat finish, no sheen whatsoever. Fabric often has a sheen that has its drawbacks. Painted fabric can be small and transportable. It is best to roll up a painted piece, if possible, to avoid creases from the folds. If not possible, then using something like a pool noodle, a little rubbery, flippy things, you know they are different colors, when the creases should be and can help to soften them and avoid any paint cracking over time if the paint was applied too thick. So the idea here is if you paint a fabric, you got to keep it kind of thin because paint's going to get hard and it's going to crack if you roll it. So he's saying you can paint fabric with this paint and just roll it up into probably a cylinder thing, probably put in a cardboard sleeve. That's probably a way to go with that. He sent me a link, which I'll post to the site once I get this going. And here's the second part. The other item to check is the batch number of the paint. The paint can have a slight variation from batch to batch. You'll want to either use the same batch number for your project, or if you get more than one batch number, pour them together, all together, to create your own unique single batch number. That way you maintain a consistency with all the different containers. If you know you're going to do more than like 300, if you're going to do a whole room or ceiling and floor, walls, you're going to take more than 1 gallon of paint. Other option is you could also buy a 5-gallon container of paint, which would solve that problem. All right, where are we? If you have some left over and need to paint another drop, just add it to the new batch numbers to create a unique batch and minimize any difference from the first project you completed. He says I generally finish painted pieces that are one color off with a thin spray of the color with a plastic garden pump type sprayer. You know, the kind you get like Ace Hardware, and you think I've done oil on fences with that. So he's saying you can do the same thing with this paint. You just kind of go over it again with the sprayer. And what he says about that is dots don't seem to be as noticeable as weird brush strokes. So it will put little dots on it sometimes if you don't get a fine enough spray. And he's saying if you do brush strokes, that can often show up, and the speckles don't, for what that's worth. Under lighting. As with anything, he says, I always recommend doing a test of the product and your techniques to make sure they perform as expected or needed. And that's, again, coming from the paint production manager at Rosco Laboratories in Stamford, Connecticut. Got that today. I try to do a lot of research on the things that I do. It's sort of the training I have. Before you take too much action on things, spend too much money, try to go in, research all you can, look at the pros and cons, and find out which one's going to work for your needs. For my needs, the paint is the best avenue. So far, I don't have it up yet, as you can see, but I think that's going to be the route that's going to be best for me. And I really, if it works the way I expect it to, I think it really should be the best route for most other people. I mean, for $100, not a bad deal, really. I mean, for the quality you're going to get, and you can, if it scuffs, you can have a can of paint and you can paint over it again. That's kind of like the way to go. And like you do the whole wall, you don't have to move anything. Nothing's in the way, nothing to clean. It's like It's like a no-brainer to me. But what I know, I'm not all the way there yet. It's just theory. So anyway, thank you, and I will keep you updated. And remember to subscribe. Really need those subscriptions. Have a good day.